Okay, and another little tangent question. So show this line is a tangent to the circle and find the coordinates. So I'll just do a little diagram just out of, just I always like to try and imagine these things. So if it's tangent, it's doing something like this, yeah? So I've got 3x, take away 5, y equals, and I've got this circle. And I think I'll just draw in the centre. So it's -1 and 2, because we are changing the sign and halving. So -1 and 2. Nice one. So prove that's a tangent and where do they meet? Now, if you think about a tangent, we are saying that they both share a common point. So right here, there's a value where x and y are the same. So if I was to put in the x and y value in here, the equation would make sense. So for example, if I put in x as 1, 3 take away 5 is 2. Okay, so if I put in 1, I would get 2 out of this equation. In the same way, if I put 1 and 2 into this equation, so 1 and -2, I would get 0 out. The x and y would hold true for both equations. So what we do to prove that is we take one of the equations and sub it into the other one. And it's much easier. I think we can put this one into here rather than try and rearrange this and put it in there. And it's already in the form y, so let's just say x squared plus, and we'll put in the 3x take away 5 squared. So I'm replacing y with that equation. 3x take away 5 is equal to 0. So this should still hold true, because if you think on this and this, they really are just a number. So this is, this would come out as, if I said x was 1, this would come out as -2. So that should still make sense in here. I'm just putting, instead of putting the number -2 in, I'm putting in the equation, because I don't know if it is 1 and -2. I'm just, made those numbers up. So now we're going to break out our brackets. I was doing little tables for the breaking out of the brackets. 3x take away 5 and 3x take away 5. So 9x squared take away 15x. It's just very easy to spot your mistakes with the table method. I like this method. So I've got x squared. I've got 9x squared take away 30x plus 25. To that I'm adding 2x, and now I've got -4. So I've got -4 times 3x, so that's -12x, and I've got -4 times -5, so that's plus 20, take away 5 is 0. Now we're going to group our like terms. So I've got an x squared here, I've got positive 9x squared here, and that's all I've got. So I've got 10x squareds. And then how many x have I got? I've got -30, I've got 2, and -12. So that's -40. There's -42, yep, -40. And finally, I've run out of colours. Well, let's try and do pink. Oh, look at that, there we go. Technology in action. 25, 20. And notice as I do this, I always get a sign with the number as well, so don't forget that. So 45 and 40. Very good. So that's going to be plus 40 equals 0. Now, I should be thinking at this point I've done this right, because I can take out a nice common factor. If you can't take a nice common factor out, you've probably made a small error, okay? They're not trying to get you to factorize crazy trinomials, okay? So if you've not got a nice common factor, you're struggling. Now, at this point, there's two things you can do. You can say, right, well, I'll factorize it. So I'm going to end up with x take away 2. X take away 2 is equal to 0. I have got two equal roots, two equal solutions to this. Two equal solutions, two equal roots. Therefore, it's a tangent. Yeah, because if you look at this, a tangent only touches at one spot. In the same way that when we were doing roots of a parabola, yeah, we would say that this has got two equal roots. Yeah, so if you get two equal roots, you've only got one answer, so it's a tangent. So you could say that if you wanted, and then we can solve it and say it's a tangent at x equals 2, because the value of 2 will give me 0. I could also, if I wanted at this point, I could go off and do b squared minus 4ac. So b squared would be, so I'll just write the whole thing out, so negative 4 squared, take away 4 times 1 times 4, so that's going to give me 16 take away 16, which is equal to 0. And then b squared minus 4ac equals 0, therefore 2 equal roots, therefore it's a tangent. Apologies for the messy writing. But there's two ways to do it. You don't have to do this way because I want the value, I want the solution, so I don't really need to do this, but it's there if you want it, okay? So again, quite a nice question because you know what the answer is going to be. You know you're going to have to get 0, so you can change your answer if you're not getting that. You know? And like I said, watch out for this nice common factor that always comes out. You know? I'm not quite finished. I just need to get the point of contact. So I'll sub into 3x take away 5. I'll just say y is equal to 3x take away 5, and my y value then is going to be 3 times 2 take away 5, so it's going to be 1. So the final answer is 2, 1. My x and my y. Okay. Point of contact. Nice one. So make sure you're stating what's happening, and there's two different ways that you could do it if you wanted. You don't need this, there's a bit of extra. But yeah, two equal solutions here suggest that there's tangency. Okay. If you had b squared minus 4ac greater than 0, you get 2 points of contact. So if you had, I'll just quickly go through that. So if you had something like this, that'd be your 2 points of contact. So that's your b squared minus 4ac greater than 0, isn't it? And if you had something like this, that would be b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, i.e. it doesn't factorise. You know, so if you can't factorise it, it doesn't meet. Yeah. If you factorise it with two different answers, it means that it meets at two different places. Okay. And we had this case in the middle, which was our tangent, which was b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. Okay. So again, a wee bit of overlap with the quadratics that we were doing before as well. And yeah, I think so. I think really those questions are nice. So what we've gone over so far has been the equation of the circle. Equation of the circle, which is quite basic, really. You know, working out midpoints and things, and the tangent work, which is very similar to equation of a straight line. And as we've seen here, our b squared minus 4ac are quadratic work. So far, this has been quite a nice topic, and we're just going to make it a wee bit harder in the next series. But if these questions come up, absolutely go for them. There's a few nice marks to be had.